Hi. For those that don't know me, I'm Virginia Walton and I'm an executive burnout coach. I help corporate women overcome feelings of stress, exhaustion, and overwhelm so they can keep moving forward and meeting their personal and professional goals. Prior to starting my coaching practice, I spent 24 years in the banking and finance industry, where I worked my way from teller at a small community bank to senior vice president of a $27 billion bank at the age of 38. I'd love to tell you I did everything right and I was well rested and never cranky, but that would be a lie. So that's why I'm driven to help other women get up that corporate ladder and get to their goals easier than I got to mine. There is a better way. I learned it along the way, and now I'm here to share it with you so you can have even greater success than I had. So today, I want to talk about how to handle seasonal stress. I know this week feels a little hectic for me. I'm Catholic, it's Holy Week. I'm very involved at church, so it puts a lot of extra things on the calendar, especially since I'm hosting my family as well on Sunday. I realized even if you're not Christian and celebrating Easter, this month we have 4 major religious holidays. So probably most of us are in that same boat of having extra demands on our time in addition to our already busy, hectic, and crazy lives, especially as we're getting back to more normalcy and going back to the office at least a few days a week, and things are happening and we can go out and have events. So it might be feeling a little bit overwhelmed. Plus, if you live somewhere that has seasons and you're coming into spring, I know I heard on the news this morning, one part of the country is still getting snow. I'm very sorry if that's you. But that too adds, right, to our never ending to-do list. You know, it's mowing, planting, power washing, mulching, getting the motorcycle ready for rides. And if you've got a classic car, getting them out for car shows and getting them ready. And they've been sitting in the garage all winter, right? I get it. Even if you outsource those things, you still got to make the calls. As a matter of fact, as I was preparing this, I remembered I had to text my own power washing guy. So it just never ends. And it can feel really stressful when you already had a lot on your plate, which I'm sure if you've part of my network, you have a lot on your plate between work, family, community. We're people who serve, right? I know a lot of my network is risk management professionals, right? We're out there to mitigate risk and serve our business partners and the company's goals and protect, right, for the greater good of the organization, which isn't always the sexiest role, but it's important, right? And so that's what happens too on our own to-do lists. Mulching isn't a sexy task, but you love when it's done, right? It looks great. It helps the plants, so it's worth it. So how do you manage all that? Especially when you feel like the extra to-dos, right? Because you only mulch once a year, you only power wash maybe twice a year. These holidays only happen once a year. So we just got to get through the few weeks that are happening this month, right? So how do we do it? I'm going to give you 3 tips. Now, they're not hard, I promise. They're easy to do, but you've got to make them non-negotiable. Okay, let me say that again. They're non-negotiable. Just like your annual compliance training, you got to do them, right? The difference being there, you're checking the box. Listen, we all know it. And I apologize to my peers who spend hours creating that training. I get it. It's important. But you've got to commit to these, right? If you want to manage and you want to benefit from these 3 tips. Okay. So now that we've laid the ground rules, I might sound a little bit harsh today, but it's from the right place. Okay. So first, you got to find time for some quiet every morning, whether you meditate or you pray or you just sit quietly with some deep breaths, or just focus on that first cup of coffee or first cup of tea. It's non-negotiable. Okay. You got to do it in the morning. And if you're going to tell me, I don't have time, okay, you're kidding yourself. I'm not talking about an hour. I'm not talking about even 30 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes. And if you can't find 5 or 10 minutes in your morning, in your day, then as soon as we get off this video, you need to reach out to me because that's not sustainable. Okay. Trust me, I've had that feeling where I can't spend 5 more minutes. I just don't have the time. You need to make the time. Here's the reason why. If you're starting your day from a place of frantic and chaos and you're racing into it, how are you going to react when something comes at you? Okay. Think about it. If you've got a pot of water or oil boiling when you're cooking, when you put one thing in, even if it's something small, how does it react? It spits, it sputters, it bubbles, right? You have to step back if it's oil so it doesn't get you. Okay. Now, if you're starting with the pot, same scenario. The only difference is it hasn't started to boil yet. You don't have to worry about that spitting, sputtering, splashing, getting burned, right? Same thing. If you're coming into your day already on the verge of boil, what happens when that one little thing comes at you? As opposed to if you come into your day calm, like the non-boiling pot of water, you're not going to have the same reaction. And this is really important because you're in this period of extra stress. So stuff's going to come at you. You're already managing a lot. Sit down. Listen, I started my week with a doctor's appointment, that annual appointment we all so love. So that threw my whole start of my week into a routine. And I was like, I had a bunch of texts and instant messages and emails on a variety of stuff. And some of them were a little annoying, like the lovely family text of, yeah, that's our head count as of now. I'm like, it's a week away. I need to know. And I could feel myself starting to boil. I said, you know what? Let me go get my cup of tea. Let me sit down for 5 minutes and just be quiet and be still. And you know what? I managed through the day a lot easier as those came up. As a matter of fact, as the day went on and there was, oh, can we add 2 more? Sure, you can. It's fine. Not a big deal. Because I wasn't coming from that place of boil. Okay? So, non-negotiable. 5 or 10 minutes in the morning to just quiet yourself before you start your day. Second, anticipate something's going to go wrong, right? I've always been caught by Murphy's Law. And no, I don't mean my current governor in New Jersey. Something's going to happen. Life does not go as planned. I used to tell my staff, listen, I have a plan for every day. I'm pretty sure the day it goes exactly as I've planned is probably going to be my last day on earth because it just never happens. So again, if you've sat and quieted yourself for a few minutes before you started the day, you're going to be able to handle it better. Not to mention, right? Some of these things happen every time you're in this season, right? Something goes wrong with the family event. You forget that you need to fast or something happens, the lawn guy runs down the lights, something. You know what's going to happen. So if you anticipate it, when it does, you can be like, all right, I knew that would probably happen. Plan B. As opposed to if you expect perfection and everything to go smoothly, when something goes off the rails, again, you're not as calm and able to rehandle it as well. Okay? Come on. I know my audience are risk people. Plan B. You have one. I used to laugh every year when part of our business continuity plans included being prepared for a pandemic assessment. Who thought? Right? So you know something's not going to go well, right? Go with it. Okay. You know what? So we only have this, or we have a little less of that, or you know what? It's if they're going to judge me because I haven't had, the house power wash before we all get together to celebrate and break fast, that's on them. That's not really important, you know? Let it go. It's going to happen. Something's going to get burned at the family gathering. Somebody's going to get burned, right? I had a friend in college who invited me for Thanksgiving, and she said every holiday her mother got injured in some way, whether she sliced her hand and needed stitches, burned something. It was just one of those things. So if you're that person, okay, anticipate it. It's going to happen. And then when it does, you're like, okay, that's out of the way. Roll with it. Expect it. It's life. And most of those things that don't go as planned, they're really not that big a deal. Nobody's lives are not at stake. Even if, because you need to take a little time off of work to be prepared for these extra time with family that we all have, your company's not going to shut down. Okay. If you're not there to audit, to make sure there's compliance or that the risk control statements are up to date for a couple days, it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. It'll be fine. Now, third, and again, non-negotiable, you got to get enough sleep. Don't short yourself on sleep when you're in an extra period of stress and juggling a lot of things. Again, I know some of you are thinking, hello, I don't have time. I've got a full calendar at work, and then I've got to get to all these extra things after work and take care of all these things at home. Yeah, of course, I'm going to have to sacrifice some sleep. Sorry. No, can't. Here's the reason. Sleep gives you energy. How do you perform when you're exhausted? When you're running on empty? If you're like, it's fine. I can do it. It's only a few days. It's only a couple weeks. It's only a month. Really? Don't put your phone on your charger today. See how well it works tomorrow. It's not, right? Most of us have gotten used to working in different environments and we're working on laptops. So you may be working, without a plug at some point in the day. What happens when your battery starts to get low? Screen get a little dimmer? Run a little slower? Why do you think you'll be different? Why do you think you depriving yourself of energy is going to make you function at your best? You need to be as productive, efficient as possible in these times of extra stress. So give yourself the rest so you can. Because here's the irony. If you don't, you're going to have to do rework. You're going to miss something. You're going to half read the email because you're tired and you skimmed it and you thought you responded to everything, only to get the response back. Thanks, but what about items 2 and 3? And then you're going to feel worse. And then you're going to have to touch it again. So it's going to cost you more time, right? Same thing, right? If you're getting ready for a family gathering and you haven't gotten enough sleep, you're going to forget something. You're going to leave something in the oven, something, right? We've all gotten home with the big grocery list and then go, I forgot the one thing I need to make that one dish that everybody loves, right? You are not going to operate at your best if you've not given yourself rest. It's the same with your devices. I hate to tell you, you are no different. You need sleep. Okay? Don't skimp on it. And if you're like, I don't have time, I can't spend 5 minutes, I can't shut down, I've got deadlines. then we need to talk. Let me help you. Because that mindset of that I have to push and push and run on empty is counterproductive. All right? You are not going to produce your best work. You are not going to lead your team to the best of your capabilities. You have it within you. But if you're not giving yourself the energy to do it, you're not doing your best, which is what you want to do. You want to give your all, not just at work, not just to your bosses to advance, but you want to care for your team. And if you're not taking care of you, you're setting a crappy example. They're going to think they have to work like that. And they're either going to have the same problems of overdoing and not being as efficient and as productive, and the quality of work will suffer, which will reflect on you. Or they're going to be like, I'm not doing that. And you're going to lose them, right? If the last couple years has taught us anything, it's that there's other opportunities. I don't have to be here. I don't have to be in an environment that is not well for me. So if you don't want to lose good talent because there's other opportunities, lead by example. And it's a win-win. You will work better. They will work better. The company will benefit. I know we want to give, and we put ourselves last. But taking a few minutes to quiet yourself before you start the day, making sure you get enough rest, whatever it is for you, okay? 7 to 8 hours is the general rule. But I can guarantee you, if you're like, I can run on 4, you're kidding yourself. You're not. Okay? So find what you need so that when you wake up, your eyes are not tired. Your body is not tired. You're getting up going, all right, I'm ready for today. I'm going to sit, quiet myself, and we can take this on. All right? Otherwise, you're going to be working harder and not as smart and not as productive and efficient, and your quality for you and your team are going to go down. And the same is true. You're setting that example at home, right? You want to take care of your family. You have community commitments. You have commitments to your religious community. You can't give them your best if you're not rested. So it's just non-negotiable. It will all get done. It will. I promise. If you're well rested, you will bang through your day. If you're walking into the day not from a place of boiling water, it'll go smoother. You won't waste time stewing, having to retouch things, having to catch yourself because you're starting to freak out, because you'll be like, all right, we roll with it. When you're tired and your mind is everywhere, you freak out and it's not productive. Okay. So if you don't know how to start making these changes, I am here to help. Trust me. It's not hard. We just need to start building some habits. So if this resonated with you and you're like, I'm ready to make this change and I need some help, I'm here. Drop me a comment, message me, this is on LinkedIn, Facebook. Drop a comment on my YouTube channel. Check out my website, virginiawalton.com. Let's make this a season of joy and not a season of stress. Okay. And maybe if you're like, hey, I'm already there, I'm doing all this, but I know somebody who could benefit because they're not there yet, pass this along. You might be helping them more than you know. Again, Virginia Walton. Check out my website, virginiawalton.com. Drop me a note. Thanks so much and be well.